Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to a huge CSGO video, and as usual, a weekend recap of CSGO. A lot of news actually happened this past few days. I hope you all had a great weekend, and while I was in town, I had a great few live streams with all of you guys. I think I live streamed for over 10 plus hours across those 2 days. We had a lot of generosity, tons of donations, tons of giveaways, so it's huge thanks to all of you guys who actually stopped by, and I am now frequently CSGO streaming, so it's been so much fun. So look out for those if you guys want to stop by for some great giveaways and some just great time actually spent playing CSGO. On top of that, thanks to our huge sponsor, Flashy Raffles. They've been sponsoring this video as well as next video. A great place to all of you guys to go for free CSGO skins and free CSGO giveaways to enter. I'll link them down below. Let's hop into our first story though in this CSGO weekend recap. As usual, we actually have some more information out there about the Ex-100 Thieves roster and the potential for SK to buy them out and actually have them join their team. And of course, Fallen and his teammates are apparently rumored to actually be going to Immortals sometime in July when their contracts do expire. I'll play you guys a clip here shortly if you do speak Portuguese. Otherwise, you guys can feel free to actually skip past it. What does go on here is apparently Bits talking to Henny, of course, while he is streaming. We're not really sure if Bit knew that Henny was streaming. He might have. This might be an entire troll for the community out there, but it could be potential information, guys, that SK Gaming is actually in talks with the Ex-100 Thieves roster to, of course, buy them out, and then Fallen and his teammates would actually go to Immortals and join up with Noah Winston. So here's that clip right now for all of you, and of course, Henny freaks out and says, "Shut up, we're currently streaming." He also uses some other language in there that I can't say for copyright issues.
Bora, prima. Ah, você tá trolando. Ô, você tá trolando, Bibi.
Desde cedo pra você jogar, mano.
O cara do SK respondeu.
Ô, tô na stream, seu filho da puta. Ô, seu filho da puta.
So of course this could likely be a joke. Bit probably knew that Henny was streaming just after this clip was released and hit the forums and actually got popular. We actually had Bit tweet out this, which does translate, "You already know what it is. You guys already know what we're talking about." So this could be a troll, it could be a joke. Either way though, I think it's definitely right down the alley, definitely possible that SK Gaming is for sure talking to this roster. If they do have their current roster leaving, they're probably going to sign another Brazilian organization, and why not the Ex-100 Thieves roster, the best roster currently out there that's unsigned. So moving forward as well, guys, we of course had Star Series this past weekend. This will be a little bit of a spoiler recap, so if you guys have not seen the amazing tournament, which lasted an entire week, it was the Swiss system, which is of course the first team to 3 wins, and the first teams to 3 losses either go on or are eliminated, and this is actually a best of 3 system, so each and every map, or each and every series, was actually best of 3. So the first teams to actually get 3 wins in best of 3 series were the ones to go through, and so on and so forth. The teams that actually went 0-3 or 1-3 or 2-3 are on screen for all of you. I want to clarify really quickly here, the only big surprise here is of course probably Cloud9, our major winners from about a month ago, or just short of a month ago, guys. So of course people saying NICS is a joke, they're dead. I do want to point out though, of course, their losses were against some very top-notch teams, FaZe Clan, SK, and of course on top of that also against Mouse Sports, who went on to win the tournament itself. So sorry for the spoiler there, guys. Although Mouse Sports did have a very clean run, they actually swept G2. They also beat Liquid and of course eventually beat Navi in the final. This is a Mouse Sports team we finally seen actually come together. Chris J was certainly MVP of this team, guys. Of course he's their IGL, also their secondary opera, but definitely led this team through a lot of those hard maps, and again popped out as a standout player throughout this tournament. Unfortunately enough though, I'm actually not unfortunately enough, kind of cool to see the MVP of the tournament was actually from the team who placed second, and that of course was Navi. Arguably though, Navi's run was even better. As I show you guys their match on screen, they were able to take down Astralis in a best of 3 series going to map 3, and also FaZe Clan, which is even amazing to see, guys. They took down FaZe Clan on some very dominant maps, ending up on Train there. They beat them 2-1. That was an amazing series to watch, and we finally saw not only just Mouse Sports come up out of nowhere and actually have that full entire team. So finally, more players than Rops and Oscar really stand out, with Chris J standing out. This Navi roster all came together, and of course Simple was your MVP of the tournament, and again I love seeing MVP that actually wasn't on the winning team, but we finally saw all these players coming together and having their own moments. It was no longer of course the typical Edward and Flamey kind of going the lower in frags, and people definitely saying they're underwhelming characters on the team. I think altogether we had the entire roster at some point really pick it up throughout some maps. Even Zeus stood in there and had a great fragging time every once in a while, and of course Simple did stand out, but every single player on that Navi roster really stood out, and they finally came together as the powerful team that we've hoped for them to be over the past few months, and it was really cool to see. Although they did play second to Mouse Sports, it was a very, very fun tournament, guys. Again, the best of 3 format I think is by far and away the best format ever, and I cannot wait to see this implemented in the future, because it certainly certainly actually does determine the best teams possible. And also, I think the one big flaw of this overall tournament, though, the one big flaw that most people can agree with is the third place matchup. I don't think anyone needed that. I know it was pretty late by the time we got to map 3 for all the European watchers. It was very late because there were actually big delays going on, and of course they had to play the best of 3 matchup between Liquid and FaZe Clan before they could actually play the grand final matchup. And I think by the end of the day, when it comes down to a $15,000 difference, it was of course $30,000 grand prize total for the third place team, 15 grand for the fourth place team. I think both those teams, Liquid and FaZe, could have parted ways and maybe just split that money. I don't think we need a third place matchup, especially if there's going to be delays. Of course, they couldn't have planned for that, but no one really enjoyed watching that. And again, I think people time and time again throughout Twitter kind of promoted the fact that I don't think teams by this point in time are really trying to compete that hard for a $15,000 difference. So although altogether, guys, it was an amazing tournament. What do you guys think about that? I think we saw some great new come-up teams in Mouse Sports and Na'Vi. I hope they can carry it out, though. And we also saw some great diversified North American talent. A team like Liquid still competes heavily. And again, at the end of the day, no matter if they were trying or not to, of course, get that third place match, I think we can say that FaZe Clan was, of course, trying to try at least a little bit to, of course, get third place over fourth place. Liquid still beat them in a best of 3, which has not ever happened. So again, a great tournament overall. It did take over a week to get all these best of 3s down, but it was absolutely fun to watch, guys, and made for some great CS. But we do have Mouse Sports becoming your Star Series Season 4 champions, and that's always cool to see a new team winning an event for the first time in a long time. On top of that, though, and big news for all UK fans out there, I'm sure you guys have heard about this, but I do want to quickly touch on this, guys. Of course, for UKCS, I've talked about this a lot in the past, especially our last video. We talked about a UK team finally being signed by an organization on the come up. They're currently in Mountain Dew League. They're not doing tremendously well, but of course they beat teams like Gambit Gaming, and they did well enough to actually get signed. So it's always great to see countries, especially like the UK, being represented very well, especially ones that have a huge following for CSGO, and the UK is certainly one of those teams. And we have finally announced not only the next FACEIT major, the first FACEIT major of all time, which has been handed to them by Valve, but also will be in, of course, UK itself, and it should be in Wembley Arena as of right now, guys. September 20th to the 23rd will be the major itself, although they also will be hosting, for the first time in a long time, FACEIT will be hosting everything but besides the major as well. On top of that, the minor qualifiers to the minor, the major qualifier, and the major. So it's going to be cool to see when those dates will fully be announced. As of right now, we only know the major dates, but it's cool to see as well. We finally, for the first time, actually announced a major date well ahead. So teams can actually plan ahead. They probably know the minor qualifiers will be a couple weeks preceding to the major. So finally, they're going to actually let teams know, hey, by the way, finalize your roster around this time. They don't know specifically as of right now when those dates will be, but we've given them a better notice than a 2-week notice from the time they actually have to finalize their rosters. So also, it will be in Wembley Arena, housing at least 10,000 people, and that's in huge news. I cannot wait to see it. I know all my UK people out there, all my UK friends are huge into football, other sports. These guys follow sports like it's a goddamn day job. I cannot wait to see the UK CSGO fans show up to this place and actually have it roaring. So I cannot wait, guys. Yes, FACEIT Major means new stickers, a new arena to host a CSGO Major in, and I cannot wait to see the crowd there. And what do you guys think about this? Who of you guys are from the UK? Who's excited? Who's going? I wish I could. I don't have a passport. Someone take me. And also, an exciting female CSGO news. I know a lot of you guys actually don't follow the female CSGO scene. I barely do because it's so hard to find the news out there, but this past weekend was a huge female CSGO tournament, guys. IEM Katowice finally held their tournament to try and figure out the best current female CSGO team in the world. Going into this one, guys, and again, spoilers will be released during this next few minutes, and it actually was Res Gaming, the #1 team projected throughout this tournament. They actually fell short, though, placing 3rd overall. It was actually Team Dignitas female going through all the entire way and actually dominating the entire tournament itself. They first beat out Res Gaming, and of course, Res Gaming dealing with that brand new roster. If you guys don't know their roster, Giuliano, Zaz, Vilga, their brand new member from CLG Red being Potter. That might be why they struggled, though. Kind of a new team so far, a new roster, kind of trying to deal with that, guys. They're certainly still a top 3 female CSGO team in the world. They fell short to Dignitas female. Dignitas female went out to the finals, guys, in this matchup on screen, and they actually dominated Squared Projects, giving up a total of 6 rounds throughout the finals, the final 2 maps they did play. So Dignitas female certainly probably your #1 female team in the world right now. Although Res Gaming followed close behind, they actually placed 3rd overall, winning their way through the losers bracket. They beat the Keed Stars female team in the best of 2 as well. They swept them. So Res Gaming still a top 3 female team in the world, but nowhere near Dignitas, who dominated the entire event, guys. They are now your IEM Katowice female champions, taking home the $25,000 check and that grand title as well. So congrats to them, guys. A brand new #1 female team in the world, although Res Gaming just behind as they deal with that brand new roster over there. So again, if you guys have any other female CSGO news out there, feel free to leave a comment down below. Also, kind of shocking news, CLG Red, once a top 3 female CSGO team in the world many months ago, before losing several of their members, like Miss Harvey being a major one who left, as well as Potter who left to Team Res, they actually placed dead last of the event. So CLG Red And again, you guys remember CLG, they actually departed with their academy team and their male CSGO team. The only team that that CLG has in CSGO right now is their CLG Red female team. They've gotten rid of all their male CSGO teams, and this certainly cannot help them as they place dead last here, guys. We'll see how long they last in the future, but that's some female CSGO news updates for all of you guys. Yes, we have a new #1 team in the female CSGO scene. And very lastly, for anyone wondering about the free agents out there right now, we still have so many free agents, but a majority of them, at least you consider in the top tier team, are still all of the Ex-OpTic gaming members. Of course, we have Alu, Freiberg, HS, and Mixwell still being free agents. Please do me a favor, guys. If you're actually still watching till now, comment down below other players that are free agents that are actually as well known as those guys, because as of right now, all I can think about are those 4 players. Magus was also, of course, the Ex-OpTic guy. He was the only one who has been signed. They're all still free agents. Mixwell is still learning French. We do have HS tweeting out this, apparently trying to start a team out there. Alu's been saying it for other teams out there, some smaller teams like Havu. Freiberg, we're not really hearing much from him. Apparently, he might be trying to make a team with some other, ex-NIP members. Maybe Exist going to join up with him. Maybe Michael Lely. Who knows what's going on with those guys? Comment down below a free agent out there that maybe shouldn't be a free agent. We're going to see what HS has in plan, though. Apparently, Ex-OpTic HS is trying to make a top tier, a tier 1 team, as he says it. Who would join him, though? That's a real question, guys. Who would join this tier 1 team that HS is making? I cannot see this guy making a team. That's why I'm very excited to see what he has coming soon. So hope you guys all enjoyed the weekend recap for CSGO. I do apologize for the lack of the lack of strategy here, the lack of scheduling. I do apologize. I was actually gone all weekend, but I do want to thank all of you guys who stopped by my live streams. Huge thanks to Maurice. Huge thanks to Andy. Huge thanks to Joe and everyone else who actually stopped by and contributed and also had just a great time. It was just a really fun time. I cannot wait to stream CSGO throughout the entire week and this weekend as well. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and thank you all so much. As always, my name is Jake Marmer, like you. I'll see y'all in a couple days. Goodbye. Oh, and here's a picture of my mom. We stayed at a hotel this weekend, and we went to the gym to go for a quick run, and my mom decided to just not wear shoes or socks. Yeah, she's pretty crazy.